I would assume you've got to go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. We'll do the agenda review today for December 14th. As a reminder, this is our last meeting of the fiscal year, unless, of course, the commission at any time can have a special meeting or something comes up. This is our last scheduled meeting for 2022. Commissioner Lopez is on Zoom. Commissioner Meitzer is unavailable. Pika. Do we have Commissioner Bruce? Okay, we'll go ahead and proceed though. All right, Nicole, under county announcements, what we have for.
Good morning, everyone. The announcements that I have, we will talk, or I will mention holiday closures, which is December 26th and January 2nd. And then Mr. Elpers is going to come in and talk about the FCC broadband mapping challenge and brief the commissioners and the community on it. And that's all I have.
Okay, like no proclamations for, well, I guess we will. Commissioner Howell's going to add a proclamation, so we'll add that on. We'll go into the point, but no other preliminary business. Under new business, item A is a couple of things there. We recognize Mr. Weber. This will be his last meeting. He is retiring from the county, as the commission has been made aware. And then a couple of other items that we'll have to, staff will recommend an interim to the commission to take Mr. Weber's place for the period until you select a full-time director. This is a commission hire statutorily, so you should give us direction on how you want to open that position internally, externally, and how you want us to proceed, and staff will take that forward. So we'll discuss that all under item A. Item B is a consideration for a one-time funding request from for a KU fellowship that the commission was briefed on several months ago now at the end of the summer. KU came in and gave a briefing at a staff meeting. This is all of the contract and legal work has been done on that. So that will be co-presented by Tim and possibly Grant, who has done the analysis on the request.
How much that's supposed to be dollars and
$380,000.
you know what it's paid out of?
We would pay it, if approved by commission, we pay it out of operating reserve. We transfer it to, Lindsay has a plan to transfer it into an appropriate cost center to make the payment.
It would be general.
All right, this is one time.
Yes, that's
That's the first year of 10-year fellowship.
but it's a one-time ask for the county. Then they're doing other.
Then they're asking for other people to do it. This kickstart.
Yeah, and what we've got is outcomes or kind of the startup costs, hiring the staff, getting the accreditation, that sort of thing, so that they can start taking students in.
Item C, any other questions on that?
Oh, is anybody from KU that will be here?
And we'll have some.
Commissioner Lopez, just keep up if you want to wait for you for a little bit.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Item C, new business, is ComCare Master in Social Work Education Program. ComCare's have been working on this for a period of time, and they're ready to present this. I believe we'll have Tim and or Chantel come brief the commission for the meeting, and then they will fully vet this publicly at the meeting. But I know that Finance, HR, and ComCare have been working on this since last summer.
But I just asked either to come around and basically talk to the commissioners of 221, but we need a little bit more detail before the meeting.
And then Board of Bid and Contracts, item D, and then a pretty lengthy consent list with some fairly significant things. I will take this a bit to talk about.
Back on board of bid contract. What happened to the sound? We didn't get any minutes, really.
So there was a technical difficulty with the audio, and our backup failed as well. And so that's why we don't have audio do this time, but I know that Rusty and Joe are available for any questions that you have.
Yeah, well, I think 9 out of 10 items were on IT, so. Michael.
Or my numbers, of course.
Item E, now we're under consent. Item E is, and item F, both have to do with, joint city-county venture regarding, flood control. Item E is the annual agreement, the 2023 agreement, between City of Wichita and Sedgwick County for, flood control system, the ditch, among other things. Our allocation for 2023 is a little bit over 2 million. City matches that. It's a 50-50 split. Item F is, Jim is here or not, it's the brick grant reapplication. We're going, I think, the second time through for this. It's the
Third.
third time through. Okay.
Everybody should be.
Yeah, it's the $10 million match split by city and county. If we, this is still an application process. So, item G is the usual renewal for 10 vendors to provide in-home services for Older Americans Act. It's all of these programs are here to keep elderly in their home. The list of the providers is in your backup material. There are 10 that are local. Item H is an agreement with Cerebral Palsy Institute. It's a $63,000 budgeted item to CDDO, and it actually supplements some of the work that the foundation is doing. It's not in pay for the whole program, it's a supplemental agreement that we have with the Research Foundation. Item I is a DOJ grant funding for ICAC for internet crimes against children, which is again an annual consideration. That those dollars vary every year. It's 161,000, a little over that this year. Item J is our usual agreement, our update agreement with KPTS to provide.
This an increase.
No, those are the right things, and I'm not sure.
Same exact price.
Item K is a request from Shelley on the agreement for toxicology testing from Axis Forensic Toxicology. Just a little less than $190,000. It's all grant funded through JAG, a combination of JAG, Coverdell, and KDOC grants. Item L is a grant application from Julie in emergency management for a KDM grant of 160, a little less than 165,000. Those are operational dollars that she can allocate in an application asked for the commission. Doesn't manual. Doesn't have to M, N, and O are all budget transfer requests. Two of them are public works and one is facilities that Lindsay's their end of year kind of transfer work that we'll take care of through those three items. Item P is the condemnation case. I think the commission's all aware of it at 135th, 53rd, so that a road project can on the 135th proceed ahead. That particular item. Item Q is affirming a county investment policy that is a state approved process that is reviewed annually. Item R and S are for hirings, which is always good news for the county. Item R is APRN, which is Advanced Practice Registered Nurse for ComCare. Item S is 2 attorneys to help Mr. Bethune legal office. Item T is reclassifications, cleanup in the health department, couple of positions there. Item U is some deferred comp committee is recommending some replacement of underperforming funds in that particular area. And then the property tax relief item B is a just house fire district, fire damage, the commission that are for approval and WNX district. So that is all. There is no fire agenda. There is no executive session.
Back to item U. Way that's worded the word fund is a singular word, so it makes me think we're replacing the entire program. You're saying we're replacing some of the investment choices within the plan, but not the plan itself.
Commissioner Howell, it's replacing, I believe, one or two different funds within the plan.
But the plan itself is staying.
Yeah, the plan with it as itself is still in place.
And this is the Empower you're talking about?
Yes, this is the deferred compensation plan. County employees stated there's a couple of the funds I believe that weren't meeting their expectations of the fund. Policy was followed by the committee. The committee's recommended those two funds.
Sounds like all of my.
How do you get it?
Oh yeah, Sheena is online.
Sheena, you want to talk to that?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. There were certain funds that were underperforming, and Empower has informed us of that. When we last met, we agreed that that needs to become before the BOCC for approval to move those funds.
I just think you change the word fund to put an S on the end of that. It cleans it up a little bit, make it.
Yeah, there's a couple, I believe they're provided in the backup, what they, I can get those in just 1 second. What they will be changing.
Any questions?
Back to item B, is there any option for us to do this over a number of years versus 1 year? I mean, you're saying they're not going to do anything until 2024. And we're not going to,
You're not gonna have students. They're recruiting students.
but they need to be front loaded with these funds.
That's their request.
Yeah, for the startup. Yeah. And get it started up. That's what we're doing, kickstarting.
These funds probably aren't. If you approve them, they will. They receive 2023.
And we know they're not going to come back and ask for additional funds in the future. That's clear in the contract.
So 1 year.
And just to remind us, because it's been a while since we talked about this, they're going to have what is this program going to produce for Sedgwick County taxpayers?
It will produce positions that are prepared to be board certified as child psychiatrists.
But how many over what period of time?
2 to 4 per year. And then once they get this program started, then 2 to 4 every year. Till the end of medical school.
Is this something that will be rolled into the biomedical campus that's being discussed? As part of that?
No.
No.
It's not part of that at all.
It's a separate issue. Essentially, it could end up.
So biomedical is supposed to talk about some common care training for people who have that type of training for people to fill common care positions. That's part of biomedical campus, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. But this is different.
It's different. What this does, that provides the 2 to 4, as Tim said, child psychiatrists. And what they find is that if we can train them here in Wichita, Sedgwick County, then we can keep a good portion of those here. And each one of them treats something like 500 kids a year. So the return on investment is pretty good.
Can you please have some data that talks about the deficit for that skill set in this community? What are the needs and how many? What's the shortfall for this people to provide that service? And this is private sector services. You get paid for through private pay, insurance, or whatever. In fact, he's not working for the county; he's working for private industry.
I hope it's someday, some of these.
It'd just be nice to know what the shortage is for these positions.
You know? Commissioner Lopez, do you have any questions?
I don't know. Thank you.
Very good. That's it. I guess we'll adjourn. Thanks, everyone.